Well, hello, friends. Welcome to This Week at Little Hills. I am so glad to be with you once again. And this week, we're thinking about what it is that the church is supposed to do. What is it that officers of the church are supposed to do? We're going to be talking more about that during Sunday School Express on Sunday, 15 minutes after our 5:30 p.m. Central Time service. But ahead of that, I want to take us to 1 John 4:1. John says, "Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God. For many false prophets have gone out into the world." There are all kinds of false teachings that vie for our attention, that say, you should believe this, you should believe that. We even see some of that this week, right? We have lots of fun, lighthearted things going on around Halloween, but then there's also the darker stuff that people say, oh, you get into this or that spiritual realm and it'll be enlightening to you. Well, fun stuff aside, that darker stuff we should avoid. The Bible is very clear on that there are lots of things that say, here's some place you can get an answer, some place you can find out the truth. And it actually leads to deception. Not just spiritual realm either, though. We have all kinds of what we might call spirits of the world, different things. Behind me, I have a sign for Spirit of St. Louis, and you think about it. We talk about the spirit of our city, spirit of our state, our country, our spirit of different interest groups and genres of music and whatever else. We talk about all those sorts of things. We know there's spirits not just supernatural. There's lots of things that vie for our attention, in other words. Are we allowing the right things to vie for our attention and to gain hold? Well, last week we talked about how we're all called to preach the gospel, all called to disciple each other. Absolutely true. So then the question is, well, what's the point of officers? What do they do? Well, their calling is to help discern, to help guide, to help be those who test the things that vie for our attention and say, what is it that the Bible actually says? All of us are actually called to do that, and let us do that even this day. Because there's all kinds of traffic around, there's all kinds of things calling for our attention, but what we want to do, we want to actually go what God wants us to hear. And sometimes that volume is overpowering and we can't hear it. But God says, focus on what I have for you. Now, we're all called to do that. But we're going to think more about, well, then what do pastors do? What do elders do? What do deacons do? There's a role in there to seek sound teaching, to encourage it, to spend the extra time to look at those things that sort of look valid and say, no, this is valid and this isn't. So I hope to see you at 5:30 p.m. on Sunday for that. And also, in the meantime, that maybe engage in the comments here. What are some things that we need to test? They're getting overpowered by all the noise. What are those spirits? How can we be more discerning as Christians? Hope you have a wonderful and blessed week, and I'll see you again very soon.